Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another video. Today we are doing our picks for the Thanksgiving and Friday games of Week 13 of the NFL season. Yes, we're going to split it up into two this week. We have, usually I would post these that Thursday night before the Thursday night game, but this time we do have some games happening throughout the day Thursday rather than only that Thursday night. So I'm going to do a Thanksgiving and Black Friday edition here, and then we'll get to the rest of the picks. Means either tomorrow or Friday. I haven't decided yet. Probably Friday is what I'm leaning, but let's go ahead and get into those picks. But first of all, let's recap what I had last week. We had an 8-6 record last week. Here's the games that I got right. Here's the games that I got wrong. You'll probably see these again in the next video, but yeah. Let's go ahead and get started with the Thanksgiving games with Packers at Lions. Now, the Packers, 23-6 against the Vikings. They have been, I don't want to say they've been great throughout the season because they have lost to the Browns, they've lost to the Panthers, they've tied the Cowboys, but they've been doing pretty good throughout the season. And this is a tough battle for the Packers. The Lions, what can I say, honestly, because they did end up winning, but was it that good of a game for them? Honestly, they've been struggling throughout the season. They started off strong, but throughout the most recent weeks, they could barely get by the Giants, 34-27 this past week. They just had some losses throughout some this season. When it comes to this game, this is a big battle for these two teams, with the Eagles favored to win against the Bears. It's anyone's game here for who will actually be on top of the division this week, if the Bears end up losing. So this could be that game to see who is on top of the division by the end of the week. And with the recent Lions struggles, I actually kind of have to go with the Packers in this one. I just don't think the Lions are that good of a team this year, and I think if anyone outside the Bears is going to win the division this year, it might actually just be the Packers. Sad to say, but I think it is true. I think the Packers might just end up winning the division since the Bears have a tougher schedule. The Lions hasn't been all that great this year. They're not Super Bowl contenders at all. Don't get that way. But for this year, I think they will end up winning the division somehow, because honestly, some of their losses has not really been all too great either. But yeah, I think the Packers will come away with this one. Next up, at the Thursday afternoon game, in part 2 of the usual Thanksgiving slate, we have the Cowboys at home, like usual, to the Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs, I don't know what happened, but they ended up winning it, and that does have a little bit of right? Because when you come back like that, there's a little bit of a No, the Cowboys also had a comeback win. Both of these teams had comeback wins, but the Cowboys had a comeback win against the Eagles this past week, as the Eagles just could not play in the second half. And when I look at these two teams, the better offense is the Cowboys. The better defense is the Chiefs. Which one do I think will end up happening this week? And you kind of have to worry about both teams because they honestly did not look great to start in their games this past week. And I guess just throughout the season, the Chiefs hasn't really been that great either. But I do think the Chiefs can just find a way to end up winning. And I think they'll probably be down like by a field goal, get a touchdown, something like that. But yeah, I just don't really say too much. I just think that the Chiefs just find a way to win in this game. The Cowboys, they don't have that much of a defense, and yeah, I just think the Chiefs win a close one in on the road. Next up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals going up against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Bengals, they haven't been all too great offensively. They lost another one this past week, but here's some good news for you guys. Joe Burrow is back for the Bengals, and that should absolutely lift the Bengals' hopes for the rest of the season. I don't think you guys are in the playoff race at all anymore, but you should absolutely be able to do better each game. The Ravens, they end up winning another one to the Jets, but it's time to have a talk because you generally have not done all too well this year with Lamar Jackson, and I think that's going to be a detriment for the season. You might still win the division, but I don't think you're going to look good doing that. I think this game does end up being a pretty close game with Joe Burrow being back, with Lamar Jackson not playing all too well recently. I am going to take the Ravens, though, because they are the better team overall. They have the better defense. But I just don't think the offense will look good in winning this game. I think the Bengals' offense will look better, but the Ravens' defense hold on to where the Ravens end up winning the game. And who knows? Maybe the Bengals actually do pull it off, but I'm not sure the Bengals would be quite 100% quite yet on Joe Burrow's first game back. And the final one we'll do for today is the Chicago Bears at the Philadelphia Eagles, the Black Friday game. Now, the Bears, we got a winning record. We got a win against a team with a winning record. It was against Mason Rudolph, but we were able to get that win. They're facing the Philadelphia Eagles, who they just cannot play all four quarters. And with it being against the Cowboys this past week, that gives at least a little more hope for me. However, I think I am going to go with the Eagles just because, well, let's face it, each of the Bears' wins throughout the season so far has not been against teams in their best, if they are like one of the better teams that we faced so far. But this is our first true test, and I'm not sure if we do it quite yet. Probably not against the Eagles. The Eagles are the defending Super Bowl champions. They have that defense when they can actually play. So I think it'll get to a pretty big deficit, and I'm not sure if while the Bears are probably a team that can get it done in the fourth quarter, I'm not sure that's going to happen this particular game. I'm going to go with the Eagles. I would love it if the Bears end up winning, but I'm going to go ahead and say the Eagles for this game, and we'll look towards beating the Packers in Week 14. So that's it for today's video of picks. If you guys liked the video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!